Hello everyone, hope you're well. I'm feeling pretty knackered tonight, and it's any wonder I'm not built like a bodybuilder, because my kids expect me to carry them everywhere. Not just Ben, who he can walk, he can go around, but obviously I have to carry him lots of places. But I've just had to carry Ollie up to bed because he wanted to be carried, and he wanted to walk on the ceiling, which is something he started enjoying doing, which involves all my upper body strength and no effort on his part. I've been juggling Emily around with stuff, and yeah, I started to think to myself, I do this every day. I should be like, with muscles on my muscles by now. It's Saturday, which means I'm even more knackered, because every week, without fail, I plan to have a bit of a lie-in, play some games, chill out, and maybe go shopping. And Claire always has other ideas. Recently, I got up and she said, the neighbours have said they've got a couple of slabs in their garden. If we want to go pick them up, do you want to go over there and get them? And I was like, oh, okay, it won't be too hard. There was like 20 of them. They weighed a ton. I drove my car over and actually loaded that up. And I might have talked about this before, but it didn't help. It was the worst thing ever. And when I got them all back, I had to lug them all back out. I was destroyed. This morning, the same sort of thing happened. I woke up and Claire was like, I mentioned that she cleared the garden. I hadn't noticed she'd done it. She cleared the front garden out the other day. She got someone to come and do it. But what they'd left behind was loads and loads of ugly looking dirt and stones and whatnot. And she'd given me this shovel that was like this wide and was like, can you help me clear it? And so I was desperately trying to find a much wider shovel, because I thought that would do the trick. I tried sweeping it all into one big pile, and the broom snapped in half, because they're not really built to push around massive clumps of dirt. I tried hoeing it in place, and the hoe just did nothing. So I went to just doing it the hard way with the tiny little spade. I might as well have been using a spade that you get at the seaside. So I started loading it into our green bin, thinking, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do. It's garden waste. Load it all in. I literally got to the top when I suddenly thought to myself, are you supposed to put dirt in a green bin, in a garden waste bin? And part of me thought, don't look it up. Just don't find out. Just let them tell you can't when they can't get it in the van. And part of me thought, no, this is going to cause a major issue. So I Googled it, and sure enough, you can't. You're supposed to shake it off plants. You're allowed a little bit in the bottom, maybe, if you've made a mistake, but not a full bin full of stones, rocks, and dirt. And I was just like, oh. So then I had to shovel it all back out and into bags. I don't know what we're gonna do with it. Claire said we could either try and take it to the dump in bits and pieces, or I don't know, we just find out how we do it. I'm gonna load it into her dad's trailer or something. But I mean, part of me thinks after we'd emptied the bin, I was walking away and I thought we could have probably dragged the bin onto her dad's trailer somehow, driven it to the dump, and then emptied it. It was blooming heavy. When I was trying to pull it around, it was the heaviest thing ever. But it just destroyed me. And then I thought I'd get to rest. I thought, it's okay, now I've done the hard bit. It's lunchtime, I'll go have some lunch. And I had to go to the shops to get it, come back, forgot something, had to go back, come back, forgot something else, had to go back. I basically did laps of deeping, and so I've done like the weights, the cardio, come back and thought, right, now I'll relax. And then it turned out we needed nappies and they didn't have them in Tesco, so I had to go down to the co-op the other side of town, and it was like, I just want to relax. By the time I got back, Ollie had been out playing with his friend in the street. They're getting on really well. They say they're best friends now, which is lovely and really cute. And Claire had a chat with her mum, and she was saying it's delightful that she's got someone who she gets on with, because apparently the other kids have been a bit mean. So I thought, well, that's good. It means Ollie can avoid the mean kids if she doesn't play with them. They're trying to get some other kids to come out, which is really nice. Emily spent the day trying to just watch stuff on her phone, but finding new and exciting. She was trying to prop it on things so she could sit and watch it, but everything was too low or too high. I was going to offer her this tripod I use, but she ended up stacking up this box with these boxes and this book and a load of mats. I helped her do it, but it ended up being just the right height that she could just sit there with a drink and a book or whatever and just have a program on while Ben was watching whatever on telly. And they've just, it's been, for them, it's been quite a nice chilled out day. They've really got their stuff together. So I was having a laugh, and one of the things I wanted to talk about was Oliver got sent this book home to read called The Weather Forecast, and look at the state of that cover. It already looks ancient as hell, and inside it, all the pictures are just ridiculous. And I said to Claire, this looks like it's older than us. I can't believe it. I mean, it's got pictures of like Marks and Spencer's and Dorothy Perkins in it from like, I was going to say older than me, but I'm shocked. 1991 it was written, and I sent it home for him to read about the weather forecast, which he's fine with. He's read the words, but it's hilarious. I can't believe how skint they must be. That this is the picture. I was trying to show him the picture of the TV they're watching on that. Like, no one had TVs like that when I was a kid. This is the most ancient book I've seen him bring home so far. But I thought they all had to have like brand new good stuff now. I'm slightly worried about what era this is from. And I was 6 when this came out. You know, I was younger than he is now. He turns 7 in a month, but that's just made my evening seeing it. This book is about weather forecasts on the television and why they are important to us. It doesn't tell you why they're important at all. It just says tomorrow it might hail, tomorrow there is going to be wind, tomorrow it will snow. It's just blown my mind. I imagine that bloke's got to be retired now. I don't even know who it is. I was trying to look for his name, but it doesn't say anywhere. I'm fascinated. I want him to seek out more ancient books. I don't know what else they'd have. Like, I remember my dad giving me a science book when I was this sort of age, and it was talking. I mean, it didn't quite say one day man might land on the moon and learn its secrets, but it was that level of science. I remember trying to help Emily with something and finding out that all the stuff I'd been taught when I was her age no longer applied, and it's quite mad to think that that's possible. And that, I mean, this isn't, it's the weather, so it's not too bad, but you do have to wonder whether the stuff that my mum taught me and the stuff that I'm going to teach my kids is relevant to them anymore. I've just been looking at topics in the back of this book because I thought, oh, it turns out there's a whole series of information books that they offer, and it covers sending messages. Now, in 1991, there was no such thing as texting. There was barely such thing as email. There were like scientists that did them, tweeting and Facebook and all of that. I really want to know. I want to go to the school library now. They've got Journey to the Moon, which I guess that had a good 20 odd years of doing that. The news. So we're talking about like war in Czechoslovakia or something like that from that era. I don't know exactly when that was. I remember that being when I was around 5, 6. It's got information on athletes. They're all going to be massively retired people who haven't been famous for years, I imagine. What else is on there? Electricity, plants to eat. It'll probably turn out there's loads of plants on there that are now poisonous or something. The babies in the babies book will probably be all in their 30s by now. It's just fascinating. I can't believe that they still have them, and I want to read them all. I want him to bring them home and I want to go through them. I think that's my new favourite thing. I'll be doing the reading time from now on. Normally he reads Beast Quest books and stuff like that. He's kind of chickening out of them a little bit at the moment because the one he's on has a giant spider in it, which, as we've learned, he doesn't like. So I don't know how to get him around that, except they're going to read it in the daytime, bless them, to make it not scary. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I did get to relax in the end. I played some Final Fantasy. I've been playing the card game on it again. I think it's funny. I say I'm going to play my game, and then all Claire hears is the same music repeating, and me just clicking through card games. And she was like, "I thought it was a RPG story." I'm like, "It is. It is. I'm just playing the card game." I spent like 2 hours doing that. Drove around, did a bit of Pokemon in. I'm having troubles with Ollie at the moment because he doesn't. He says he wants to play it, but he literally never wants to come out, never wants to do raids, never wants to find anything. If I tell him I've got a shiny, he gets really annoyed with me because he wants a shiny. If I offer to take him out and help him find one, he doesn't want to do it, he can't be bothered. So I think that game's pretty much dead for him now. He does the occasional community day when there's one on, but at least 2 of the past 5 I've done on my own, which is a little bit sad. I'm not going to stop playing it, because I kind of just do it alongside my normal routine now. But I am slightly worried that we're not going to have the kind of focus on it that we used to have as a family, which is a good thing in some ways, but equally I'm a little bit disappointed because I had a justification for playing it when he was obsessed with it and I was just equally obsessed with it. Whereas now I'm the one who's obsessed with it and he's not really fussed because he's just got other things he's interested in. I'm a little bit at a loss of what to do. He's really into Yokai Watch, which is quite funny. It's basically the same thing, except they're little things in a watch. And just much younger programs that Ben watches. But I reckon it will hook him back in. They need a new feature that hooks him back in. I don't know what that'll be. I've got lots of people I know that play it. I'll be fine playing it, but I'm slightly disappointed he's grown out of something that I was enjoying sharing with him. I need Ben to age another year. It was 3 when Ollie started getting into it. Ben needs to be a year older. If I just see out the next 12 months, Ben will get hooked on it. Although Claire's already told me she doesn't want Ben getting hooked on it, which again is a little bit disappointing because that could have seen me through to the end of the game, really. I don't imagine they'll still be doing the game when they've finished Gen 8. I don't think there'll be a Gen 9. That said, he's not obsessed with Pokemon. I did upset him a little bit because I showed him the new ones. Because the new game's set in England, there was a teapot ghost Pokemon and a bird Pokemon, and I showed him them. He thought they were in Pokemon Go, so he eagerly loaded the game, and then they weren't in it. So he was really annoyed with me. Then he eagerly loaded the DS and played Pokemon Sun, thinking they were in that, and I kept explaining to him they're in the one coming out on the Switch in 2 months' time, and I've been showing him all the new releases of them, but he still likes it enough that he sat playing it on the DS a lot. But I don't know, he just can't seem to be bothered anymore. It's since he basically told my boss that I had it on my phone and he couldn't have it. I don't know if I mentioned, I'm sure I must have mentioned, but he basically told my boss that I had it installed on my work phone. And my boss was fine, didn't say a word about it, but I obviously just was like, delete, can't do that anymore. Shouldn't have done that in the first place, really. But, you know, I had a chat with him briefly, like, about, you know, sorry or whatever, but he was fine, he didn't care. But that just since then has been the nail in the coffin for it, because we can only borrow Claire's phone now and again. So yeah, I can't believe we've got to that point. He does keep saying, can I get a phone? And I'm like, no, you're 6, that would be ridiculous. But I think that's it again. He likes having his own one that he can just play with and not have to worry about giving back to Claire all the time. My friend did give him one that can just barely run Pokemon Go, but it literally crashes every time we use it. So I'm giving that back to them. But yeah, I'm slightly disappointed it's an end of an era in that regard. As I say, I still drive around. I still do it. I still enjoy it. But yeah, it's what are you going to do? I don't know how to hook him back in it. Part of me doesn't know whether I even should hook him back in it, except for the fact I really enjoy spending the time with him. You know, we'd go out. Sometimes it would just be we'd drive out. We did do a raid together the other day. I open the back windows and he talks across the cars to the other kids that come out and play it. Or if it's good weather, they play in the park. So he still wants to do that a bit. It's just, it's massively declined. Where we used to do it literally every day, we probably do it twice a month now, which... end of an era. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up because it's Saturday night and that is the night that Claire and I... We normally watch films, but actually we will probably watch The Expanse. It's... Someone's worried me. I don't know if I mentioned on here, but someone told me that it's 9 books long and the first 4 seasons are only the first book. So we're looking at, if every book's that big, we're looking at like a 36 season TV show here, which can't be right, but... season 4's not even out till December. We're like on season 2, so we'll probably push through that because more stuff comes out later in the month that we want to watch. But normally this is our film night, so we'll just chill out. We've got some crisps and drink and stuff, and we'll just have a nice cozy one. But yeah, I wanna relax tomorrow. I'm hoping she's not got any other jobs lined up for me. One of the kids did lean on our stairgate and rip it out of the wall earlier, which was great. So now I need to learn how to mix and do plastering and then get it all sorted and repainted, which I know is not hard. I say mix, I just mean buy it and slather it in and flatten it out. But I don't normally do DIY, I'm DI don't. So yeah, I'm a bit worried about that, but it'll be fine. Maybe I'll film it. If it's a catastrophe, I'll film the outcome. But I'm going to try and get out of doing that tomorrow, unless it's a bit too much to just leave. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a good Saturday. Thanks very much for watching. Just let me know how you're getting on. I like hearing from you all, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.